Manchester United then 2-1 winners at Anfield. That's Liverpool's first Premier League loss at Anfield since last September. First time they've lost 4 straight matches across all competitions, going back more than a decade. We take a look at the top half of the Premier League. Arsenal sitting pretty right now. First place with 19 points from 8 games. Manchester City second, Bournemouth third, and Liverpool sitting right there in fourth. For more on this one, we welcome in our good friend and colleague, Frank Leboeuf. Frank, I'll get your thoughts on this game in just a minute, but Stevie, we got to start with you. I feel like there was a lot of problems for Liverpool today. Can you pick one that for you was the biggest?
Pick one?
Yeah, what was the biggest problem today?
My goodness. I don't know that there's just one big problem. I think there are so many big problems.
List them in order of importance.
And the one thing, well, we sat and we watched one of the title contenders in Arsenal yesterday. And I said yesterday, you know, titles are, you start at the back. Defences win titles. And that's why Liverpool's got no chance now of winning this title.
No chance?
How can you possibly win a title when your back four are in so much disarray that you can't defend against anybody? I mean, Manchester United should have been 2 up at half-time. Bruno Fernandes let Liverpool off the hook when he hit the post and it went wide. I mean, Conor Bradley looks half the player that he was when he burst on the scene. You know, Konate has had a terrible start. Virgil van Dijk, to me, looks as though he's trying to do too much. He's trying to cover too much. And Kerkez looks out his depth. Now, that's the base of your team. And when that isn't functioning, it's not functioning when the opposition are getting at them, but it's not functioning with the ball either. Because when they're coming out, every man and his dog doesn't want to pass the ball to Kerkez. You've lost the left-hand side of your attack before you even start. So when you go down the right, we're looking at Mo Salah, who looks like he's forgotten how to play the game. I mean, as fantastic as he's been, absolutely, I mean, lights out sensational for Liverpool. But right now, Kerkez and unfortunately Mo Salah right now, the both of them are passengers. And you cannot win titles with passengers on your team. And not only can you not win with passengers, when the other 9 are not exactly hitting the heights either, you see what happens. You can absolutely lose to a Man United side who, with all due respect, it was about hard work, it was about defending, it was about covering each other, and then they took advantage of the opportunities that came their way. That's what Liverpool were up against. They weren't up against Real Madrid or Barcelona or anybody else. They were up against a hard-working team today, and they couldn't break them down and couldn't stop them going the other way. I mean, Liverpool played like a basic, average Premier League team.
Yeah, the defence wasn't very good. The attack, though, to Stevie's point, wasn't much better.
We'll get to Man United and the sort of praise that they should get because they've come into this game in a bad way, and they played as well as they could, got the result. So we'll get to them. There's so much with Liverpool to unpack here. I understand the Kerkez. The Mo Salah is glaring. I think it starts with leadership, and you can include the manager in that, but we'll get to him. Leadership is your star players. Your star players are Mo Salah, who's not taking the bull by the horns, and I actually think Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk, to me, is not leading at the moment, he's blaming. And Kerkez is having a bad time. There's no doubt about it. He's getting swallowed up by the pressure of going in with these big players in this huge football club with these big expectations. But I don't think it helps when your captain's looking at him every 2 minutes and blaming him or digging him out. Even at the end, the clearance that comes off Kerkez's face, what's he supposed to do?
Right.
He's tucking in behind Van Dijk, and Van Dijk's turning around and he's gesturing to him. The crowd see it. And I just don't think that helps the situation. Now, Andy Robertson's big boots to fill because he's been a great left-back for a few years, but he can't really do it anymore. So Stevie and I have talked about this, about maybe taking him out the pressure cooker, but Robertson's been struggling for club and country. But then you get to Arne Slot, and you talk about team selection. That's 4 defeats in a row. They were playing their biggest rivals historically at home. He's once again favoured Isak over their most informed player in Ekitike. Ekitike should have played at Chelsea, and he should have played today.
I told you was going to start.
You did say he wasn't going to start. He should have played.
Yeah.
Alexander Isak's a great player, but he's missed a chunk of pre-season, and since Ekitike has come in, he's looked sharp as a tack. So he's not only playing a player who's not quite ready yet in Alexander Isak, he's denting the confidence of another, and we talked all week about Man United being weak in the middle of the park and somehow shoehorning Florian Wirtz in there to expose Casemiro, and he chose not to. I think that one to me is more debatable. I don't really think the Ekitike one should be. So there's lots of things here are falling on the senior players, but there's also a lot, I think, falling at the feet of the manager, saying your selections of these star players in the last 3 or 4 games, you could argue he's getting it wrong.
You know, there are certain things in football that were around 100 years ago that still are very important today. It's not always about the tactics and all the fancy play and all the philosophies and all of that nonsense. There are basic things that you have to do to win a football game. And the one thing that stood out more than anything to me today, and I put this down more to Arne Slot not doing anything about it than the players on the field. Manchester United, at no stage today, tried to play the ball out from the back. This was going to be, and you could see it after 5 minutes, this was going to be about second balls. And second balls, winning second balls has been around for 100 years. And Manchester United won every single second ball today. Whether it was on the halfway line, whether it was in either of the penalty boxes. I mean, there is nothing positive you can say about this Liverpool side in terms of tactics or just getting the basics right. And in that particular occasion, to me, that's down to the manager. Because as soon as you see that the opposition are not playing it out and they're going to be kicking it long, because Van Dijk and Konate were winning every single first header, but it was second ball that was the most important thing. And Man United played for that. And it was part of why they were so good in the first half. Because they played it long, they won the second ball, and then they were putting people through. Slot did nothing about it. And leadership on the field, Salah, Van Dijk, you've got a World Cup winner in McAllister, but nobody spotted it. Nobody did anything about it. And it just continued every single time.
Just briefly before I go to Frank, not on any analysis of the tactics or the performance, on a technicality, and it was a difficult one. On a you asked me about it. On a laws of the game as we sit here now, the referee should have blown the whistle for the Van Dijk elbow hitting the back of McAllister's head. Now, the out from the referee to the VAR was that he didn't see it was a head knock and allowed the game to go on. And look, we can debate whether he saw it or not. I can understand he saw Mbemo getting up, which he did, picked himself up, ran past Van Dijk, by the way. That's not Kerkez's fault. You know, it's not Kerkez's fault that Mbemo runs by Van Dijk and then he's looking at Konate to come and help him. But my issue with this is it's a head knock or not. Now, McAllister goes to the ground. We saw in the highlight, he's holding his head. I think the referee saw it, was unsure what to do, let the game go, and then said in his microphone to his colleagues he didn't see it. So that was his out, taking nothing away from United. The defender from Liverpool then wasn't good enough, but technically that should have been stopped on the spot.
Frank, the boys are hammering Liverpool, especially the back line. You're a World Cup winning defender. What are you seeing from this Liverpool defense?
I agree, but it's not only the back line. I mean, the two guys, you know, said it all. I mean, it's a squad problem, it's a coach problem, it's the individual choices that Slot made today, and he made mistakes. And I agree, Isak shouldn't have played. Ekitike has to play, and there is no debate. And I don't care if they pay 130 million for the guy. He's not ready yet. He's lacking confidence. He shouldn't have played. For me, only Gakpo tried, hit the post 3 times, so he's the only one who survived. But really, most players, most of them are only the shadow of themselves. And they lost what makes Liverpool a special club. the spirit, the fighting spirit. We don't see that anymore. We saw kind of senators where Van Dijk is I agree with Craig. That guy is a leader when he has the ball. Very nice, serving everybody, but defensively he's not there anymore. He's not the captain, the best defender in the world that I've used to see. He's not there. He's not commanding well. Konate is doing what he can, and he's also guilty on many occasions. We see players doing stuff like, Bradley, the young Bradley, is not the player that we saw. And we say, okay, Trent is going, Bradley is going to play, he's good enough, he's ready. No, he's not. What about Salah? I mean, the chance he has, that's not the world-class Salah that we used to see. He's 3 yards away from the goal, and he shoots 3 yards away from the goal. So that's absolutely crazy. But again, to not repeat what the guys have said, it's the spirit and the maybe the physical condition, the willing of going for a fight, and as Steve said, today it was a big derby. It was stop playing football, stop playing nice football, play a war. Fight for your colors. Go for it. It's why we love watching Liverpool, and we loved watching Liverpool last season. The fighting spirit. Go for it. Second ball. Put the pressure with the fans. It's gonna get crazy. 10 minutes we had that after they scored the goal. Before that and after that, that was tiki-taka. Liverpool playing tiki-taka. Come on. You're insulting your club playing like that.
I think there's a lot of eyes on the manager now, and I tell you why. Not just because it's 0-4 in terms of results. Think about last year when he came in. He takes over Klopp's team, makes a few tweaks here and there, but the personnel is pretty much the squad that was there. And he didn't have to make these big decisions. Not really. Darwin Núñez wasn't going to play much, and it was Luis Diaz was there.
Nowhere near the squad, right?
Szoboszlai played, and McAllister played, and Gravenberg played. Sometimes it was Curtis Jones, but there wasn't really that many big decisions. Trent was still there at right back. Robertson was still doing a half-decent job at left back. So the decisions were pretty simplistic. There's maybe just one here and there to freshen things up. And it was great for 6 or 7 months, and then it did falter when he did have to go to the well. He made a big decision in the FA Cup at Plymouth. They got knocked out. They got knocked out of the Champions League, and it started to unfurl, but they'd done all the hard work early in the season. So they got the just rewards in the Premier League. This season, with the recruitment, he's now tasked with making these big decisions. So it's become a lot cloudier for him, and there's a lot more questions on him now than there were last year when he basically shuffled his team, his first 11 out, week in, week out, and they did a great job. Now it's who plays up front. Now where does Florian Wirtz play? Now who plays right back? Szoboszlai, Bradley, Frimpong. What are you going to do with Kerkez? What are you going to do with Salah? He's got all these questions now, and I think he's struggling.
As footballers, we always like repetitiveness.
Right.
And as a
In
player,
terms of the same 11 week in, week
Well, they
out.
got Eintracht Frankfurt, and then they got Brentford.
what time you turn up for training, what time you start, what time you finish. I mean, you like things to be normal. And we've been sat here since the start of the season questioning who's playing. We don't know who's playing. We don't know who's going to play right back. You've got three right backs, and you're playing a central midfielder at right back.
We're 9 games
and here's
into
the
season,
problem.
Stevie.
Sorry?
Is there not time to figure out what the best 11 is? You've got an incredible squad. Surely you could put together a very competitive 11.
Well, you're running out. If you want to win the Premier League, you're running out. And that is one of my points. We're sitting here and we don't know what the team is. You can guarantee that most of the players don't know what the team is either. That's a horrible place to be.
So
when you've got so many players. Well, the manager. The manager's
Is it not the recruitment? If you're saying that these pieces aren't making this team better.
Are you going to let me finish?
Yes.
The manager has to decide what the
I-
best 11 is. The manager has to decide
Stevie-
and then put them out and then give them an opportunity.
Do you have an idea what their best 11 is?
No. I'm not with them every day. I'm not coaching them every day.
Is there something you see in the 11, for instance, that he put out today?
I'll tell you what I
would
see.
Switch,
I'll tell you what I
that
see.
You would change.
I'll tell you what I see. I see a team that knows that at any stage the whole thing's going to be switched around. They're going to bring a centre midfielder on. You're going to stick a centre midfielder at right back. Is Isak playing? Is Ekitike playing? Should Salah be playing? It's just question after question. And if you think everybody on the outside's asking questions, I'll guarantee you a large majority of the players are asking questions as well. Every time they step on the field, they're not quite sure what's going on.
Who started it? Sorry, Craig.
Go on, Frank.
If I may.
Yeah, go on.
Sorry. I think who started the debate, in fact, to put the best 11. Imagine you're Arne Slot and you see the beginning of the season, you say, okay, Mo Salah's going to play, Virgil van Dijk's going to play, Konaté's going to play, McAllister's going to play, Gravenberg's going to play, and Conor Bradley and Kerker's going to play. And you see those guys who have been absolutely fantastic being, again, the shadow of themselves. So suddenly you say, well, I should change maybe to try to find somebody else, except maybe Salah, Virgil van Dijk and Konaté. But I think he tries to find solutions. I think he's been, in a good way, I would say, betrayed by the non-quality of his players that they showed last season. I think he's lost. The guy is lost because nobody is at his own level. That's the main concern that Slot has right now with the players that he was confident about before.
What would worry me as a player in the dressing room is that we did the Community Shield. Okay, it was the cut and razor to the Premier League against Palace. It's not the be-all and end-all, but it's a little test before the start of the season. We saw, obviously, we talked about the problems in the back line then, and we said, okay, he's got to figure that out. That was August, particularly the left-hand side, Van Dijk and Kerkez. It was staring at us at Wembley that day, and it's a problem. But when Ekitike came in for the foot, we all went, that's, tell you what, that's lively. That's lively.
Am I hearing that that's the change you'd make? That's the first thing you'd do to fix this team?
I think that's a glaring one.
You guys have danced around it, not just in this show, but for weeks now, the Mo Salah issue and what to do there.
Nobody's danced around anything.
Well, we've had the conversation of, is it time to have the conversation about removing it from the lineup?
It's time now. It's time now, yeah.
It's time now?
It's absolutely time now. But I want to go, just before Mo Salah, I want to go back to that just briefly. Are we looking at a price tag here? Because you could argue Ekitike's been their biggest threat. It was Cody Gakpo today, but it's Ekitike's been, and he's been scoring goals, he's been linking up the play, and Isak had a tumultuous summer. Right, his head had to have been all over the place. Maybe some of it was his fault, maybe some of it wasn't, but you can't deny it. He was training with Real Sociedad, he wasn't training with Newcastle, he certainly wasn't training with Liverpool. It was a prolonged transfer. It takes a bit of time to get over that, get in, get your fitness and get your sharpness. But you've got a guy who's playing great. He's another big signing, not as big a signing, but he's come in from Germany, he's playing great, and you leave him out. Now, Florian Wirtz, we can say, right, he hasn't done it, he hasn't done this, hasn't done that, so maybe he doesn't want it right. We could debate that. I really don't think... I think the Ekitike emission is a worry for me, that you're shoehorning somebody in here because I've got to get him in the team, when that's detrimental to a result. Because you need, when you're struggling at one end, goes without saying, you need it in buckets at the other end. And Liverpool are struggling at this end. And I just don't get the decision at the moment to go with Isak over Ekitike.
As a coach, you've got a responsibility to the fans, to the players and to the team to put on the field the best team to win a certain game. And when you start Isak over Ekitike, you're not doing it for the right reasons.
And the players would know that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Nobody will know more than Ekitike, but if I'm in that team, I'm looking around going, hold on a second, we've got a guy here. And by the way, who made a difference when they came on? Straight off the bat, Ekitike. Straight off the bat. So if I'm a player and I'm going, well, hold on a second, it kind of smells like it doesn't matter what I do here, this guy's going to play. That's not good for the dressing room either. But as I said, the most important thing about it is you can't be shoehorning people in just to either try and keep people happy or because they paid a lot of money for them. And again, if you're Frimpong, you're brought in as a fullback, but yet you're going to upset your middle of the park and you're going to stick Szoboszlai at right back again because he doesn't deserve to be brought off. So you stick him at right back. Those decisions, that's not what championship winning teams do, and championship managers don't.
He's going to lose the bench. If he carries on like that, he's going to lose the bench because players who came on today, Frimpong, Kirsty Jones, Ekitike, even Chiesa. Chiesa, I don't recognize Chiesa from last season. He was anonymous, and today he came on, worked hard. Last time he scored the goal, the winning goal. I mean, he works. Those people, they work hard, and they see players being picked by the coach because of their price tag, because of their fame, because of their past, but not because of their right now qualities. And that's something that you can be blamed of, and you, on top of it, you can lose the players who are on top right now, especially Hugo Ekitike.
All right, so Liverpool then 2-1 losers against Manchester United at home. Let's hear from both managers, Arne Slot and Ruben Amorim.
Do we lose confidence? I cannot see it yet, because every single game we've lost, we were able to create in the second half an unbelievable amount of chances. So if you look back at all the 3 games we've lost in the Premier League, I don't think if you just put all the highlights behind each other, you would say it's hardly possible that they lose this game. So we can keep producing what we are doing and do a few things a little bit better, then there's every reason to expect that we start to win football games again. But I cannot promise you that Wednesday evening we are again able to create 8, 9 or 10 open chances. I hope so. And with the players we have, then it will lead in the end to us scoring more goals.
We are the same team that we were 90 minutes ago. The way people see the team is different, but we are the same team. So we have a lot to do. We had some luck in the few moments. We had an amazing spirit. We need to take all of that to the next game, so the goal is always the same.
Arne Slot, we're creating lots of chances. We're creating lots
Unbelievable amount of
Now, I don't look at the defensive aspect of the game, but we're creating lots of chances. We're creating, I mean...
Should he be ringing the alarm bells more in the press there? Or is that what you'd expect a manager to say in this situation?
Yeah, I think to be honest, he's... Let me put it a different way. I hope that's not what he's saying in the dressing room.
Right.
What he's saying is trying to be positive, trying to go for, what could have been, what maybe should have been in his eyes. But the most important thing is he's not saying that in the dressing room. Because if I'm in that dressing room and he's saying that, I'm thinking, hold on a second. Because they know they are struggling. You can talk about so-called opportunities, but the most important thing is the big picture. And the big picture is Liverpool today, and if I'm wrong, tell me, I don't think they strung 4 passes together in any one move, ever. And I don't think they've done that all season. So you can talk about little half chances or anything, but in terms of the way they play the game, they are miles off it.
Should we give Man United some...
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you know what?
I should lead into this and say if there's any stupid questions about Man United on extra time, I will implode.
Let's save your anger towards extra time.
I'm serious. If somebody's picking out questions that says, is they going to win the title now? Are Man United back? I will pick this table up and throw it. That's a big result.
I agree, Craig.
Heavy.
Frank, why are you downplaying this?
That's a huge
From a United perspective.
No.
You know what? I don't agree with Amorim what he said after in a press conference, saying that they are the same team that 19 minutes ago. That's not at all. I mean, the triangle Cunha, Mbeumo, and Amad Diallo. I didn't see it since the beginning of the season. Those 3, they made a difference today. Of course, Kerkez and Virgil van Dijk on the left side, they weren't at the top. But those 3, and I don't know why Amad Diallo doesn't play from the beginning, because that guy made a difference last season, and for me, is a game changer. And on top of it, you have Bruno Fernandes, who came a little bit more in the middle and did what he had to do. They weren't fantastic. They were very professional, very hard on the man, and they did what they had to do against, let's say, not so good Liverpool, but I want to remember the triangle. Mbeumo, I don't know. Mbeumo, Cunha, Ahmad, because I think Cunha was a little bit Amad Diallo, but that was, for me, that was the difference. All the goal came from them, and Bomo and Amad. The chances, they came from Cunha and Amad. Cunha had a hell of a game. It was more in the shadow from the others, but he was working hard, and great three guys there playing very well.
I mean, they kept it very simple, didn't they? I mean, it was simplicity, is what it was. You know, when we don't have it, get behind the ball. And then when we do have it, let's try and get at Liverpool and take our opportunities. But what we're not going to do is have Liverpool come and squeeze the life out of us, and we're going to cough the ball up in our own penalty box. And that's it. After that, it was about being organised and the desire to defend.
Can they replicate it? Like, obviously, away against Liverpool at Anfield, that's how the game's going to go.
Well, the problem is, that's the problem, because it's Man United. Man United at Old Trafford, are they going to sit in against Brentford?
I mean, if that's your only way to win.
Well, so Jim Ratcliffe's wiping his brow because he made a stupid statement about
3 years, right? Yeah.
But they've gone to Liverpool. Listen, they've gone to Liverpool. Okay, they beat Sunderland at home. They're not in a
First time under Amorim, back-to-back Premier League wins.
Well, that tells you.
Tells you all you need to know.
That tells you the situation they were in. They've played as well as they could in the current climate away from home at a Liverpool side that are struggling a little bit. I'll give them their due. They defended well for the most part. Got lucky. Okay, you got to ride your luck. Ball comes off the post a couple of times. Keeper makes a couple of good saves. But Maguire and De Ligt in particular were strong. I thought, Amad Diallo was a decision that surprised some because that's an attacking decision on the wing-back area. But he went with them because Liverpool have been struggling in that area down the left-hand side. I think the omission of Šeško was an interesting one because he scored 2 in the last 2 games, Brentford and Sunderland. So you could argue he's just trying to find his feet. But he goes with Cunha because Šeško's going to post up against Van Dijk and Konate, right? He's going to stand there and those two are going to have a bun fight with him. Whereas Cunha, he's going to start there, but he ain't going to finish it. He's going to try and drag those players into different positions. Mm-hmm. And if you drag Konate and Van Dijk out of there's little pockets for Mbemo or Mount or somebody else to get into. Yes. So I thought that was quite, and I agree with Frank, I thought Cunha's all-round performance today, just holding the ball up when he had to, particularly at the end, taking the pressure off, attracting fouls on him. Just, we saw a little, it wasn't outstanding stuff, but it was just little things in the game where you thought that was quality play from him. And so I thought, in that sense, Ruben Amorim got it right. Yep. You've got to give him a lot of credit for that. It's a huge win for him, a huge win for this team. The question is, it was your question, do they take this forward with any sort of consistency going forward? That is the big question we're looking at with this team.
Frank, when it comes to Ruben Amorim, I feel like there's been a lot of doubts whether he's frankly the guy for Manchester United. Does today, this result, give you some evidence that he may well be the guy?
That's as Craig mentioned. It can be a beginning, but now we have a question mark. When he plays at home and he has to lead the game and dominate the game, how he's going to do and how he's going to work with the guys. And will he give the best 11, or will he go somewhere else with some other players? I don't know because we don't know with Amorim. We don't know. We are unbalanced with him because of some comments that he made and everything. That was a good performance. That was a very good quality performance, but we are talking about consistency in football. That's the principles that we want to see. Consistency. Some players were at the top today, De Ligt, even Diallo, they worked very hard, they were good, and they did what they had to do, but you have to wait and see because it's Manchester United. They can do that one time and disappear the 3 days after, so let's see how it works.
I'm sure we probably sat here under Ten Hag. You might remember, and said, and Dan Thomas or whoever it was sat there probably said, "Is this the turning point?" And it was like, well,
I think the biggest positive, right, is that there is no question that regardless of how good you think this squad of players is, the one thing they did today was play for each other, and certainly as a coach, if you can get a bunch of players to cover each other, run for each other, play for each other, then you've got a chance. At the end of the day, does Manchester United have a good enough squad to go and dominate teams and outplay them? The question is no. And I don't think that's down to the manager. All the manager can do is to keep his team together and keep them fighting as a unit. And then you go from there. And where that goes right now, I mean, nobody knows. It's too early to say.